Hi everybody. This is awkward. My name is Moey, and I have osteosarcoma of the pelvis and spine. So, to start off in this video, I think I'm just gonna do some introduction and just how I was diagnosed and how what my starting story is, I guess. Because not to brag or anything, or I don't know why someone would brag about this, but or to draw attention to myself or anything like that, but when I was going through this, I really found videos like this helpful for me to watch, and I wish there were more of them. So yeah. So to start, I started having a little pain in my left back a couple years ago. This happened a couple years ago. And it was very, very mild, so I didn't think anything of it. Didn't think anything of it. And I was partway through 6th grade, and I was my back kind of hurts. And I would tell my mom, tell my dad. He'd be hard day, carrying a lot of backpacks. At my school, we didn't have lockers, so we had to carry all our books with us. And I was okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. I would maybe ice it or heat it, whatever. And then it started spreading down to my butt and my left leg. So we went to see a physical therapist. And I have notes right here, that's why I'm looking down. Yeah, so we went to see a physical therapist, did physical therapist exercise until the summer, and then during the summer I went to camp. And that was when people started noticing me limping, or actually a little before that, people started noticing me limping, and I had never noticed myself limping. I didn't feel it, and I didn't see it, so, yeah, but then at camp, people would come up to me total strangers would be are you okay? Do you need help walking to the nurse's office? I'm what are you talking about? They're oh, you're limping so bad. I'm okay, but I'm totally fine. I mean, I was having pain, but I'd gotten so used to it that I didn't really think anything of it. But then my parents came to pick me up. They're Moey, you're limping so much. What are you doing? So as soon as I got back from camp, I went back to physical therapy, and this therapy did a couple sessions and was okay, you have to go see an orthopedic surgeon. There's obviously something wrong here. And that guy, may have saved my life, right? That guy may have saved my life by telling me to go see this orthopedic surgeon. Because I went to see the orthopedic surgeon, and I had more pain at this point, so much that they started giving me steroids to help the pain. And this orthopedic surgeon recommended an MRI. So we got an MRI, and originally it was supposed to be about an hour and 45 minutes. And I went in for the one for an hour. They gave me contrast through an IV. It was not pleasant. I really did not like that. But it was fine. So they put me back in for the second MRI, and I had a little mini panic attack. So my mom came in and she held my hand through the the little thingy, the window, and I was fine for the rest of the MRI. But as soon as I come out, my mom's what's wrong? Did they tell you something? I was no. What are you talking about? She was nothing. And, right, I mean, she didn't tell me right away. But she was worried that they had told me that I had a mass, and that's what freaked me out. But I didn't. And it turns out that MRI lasted 3 hours, and it was only supposed to last like 45 minutes. So that was like kind of confusing, but I thought I just lost track of time. I don't know. I was kind of out of it. I didn't really know what was happening. After I came out of the MRI, I was with my mom and my twin. And, yes, I have a twin. Yes, I will do videos with them. They're a blast, so, you know. But after that, my mom tells me and my twin that I have a mass in my pelvis, right? And we didn't know what it was, and we had to get it looked at. And, like, at that time, it could have been nothing, or it could have been something. And just happening that day was like this big dinner with my cousins who came in from out of town, and we felt really bad for, like, they were staying at our house too, and everything got like really chaotic, and that was just not a good time. So they ended up staying like one more night and then flying back to where they lived, and we just we were just so worried for these couple days before the biopsy came back. And during these days, like, my family was worried, but I mean, honestly, I wasn't that worried. My twin was really worried. They were like, oh my god, they're always a pessimist thinker. So they're like, oh my god, this is the worst. Moey has cancer. Moey has cancer. And I'm like, no, Ari, it's probably not cancer. Like, it's probably benign. They can probably remove it. Like, whatever. And they couldn't tell us anything. And then we met with the orthopedic surgeons, or the orthopedic oncologists at Lurie Children's Hospital, and they told us that they suspected it was Ewing sarcoma. And then we needed a biopsy to make sure. So we did the biopsy, and we waited for the results. It was really nerve-wracking. And then we got the diagnosis of osteosarcoma, which is a bone cancer, and it does spread. It spreads all over the body and to the lungs. Usually people get it in their appendages, in their arms and their legs, and that usually happens if they get like an injury in a sport and they don't heal very quickly, or like they get a really bad bruise and it doesn't heal, and it's much easier to spot and it's much easier to treat, and in worst case scenarios their arms or legs can get amputated or something like that, you know? But in my case, it was in the pelvic and spine, and that's a lot harder to treat. Because you can't just go in there and take that out. And also, it's much, much rarer. Spinal osteosarcoma, like, there are very few doctors who will treat it. So yeah, that was my diagnosis. And that was sort of the beginning of my story. So I think that's where we're going to end for today. But I'm really looking forward to making YouTube videos because it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that people can relate to, whether they have cancer or not. And yeah, I think my next video is probably going to be something about like telling you guys about myself, because this doesn't really let you get to know me. It lets you get to know my sickness. So maybe the next video is going to be like, you know, facts about me, or I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together, you and I. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm a loner, so I'll definitely answer them, I promise. But yeah. See you later.